Morning, Steve Free in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, finally it's Friday, and yesterday we're trying to pick up any news and the pieces of the big sell-off in beans yesterday. Some people were saying that maybe it was the first of the month. There wasn't as much follow-through fund buying there was as the end of the month. Some people talked about one cargo of beans coming into the United States from Brazil, and that caused weakness in the cash markets, which caused weakness in the spreads, and we started just seeing everything kind of unravel. Some economists are putting together all the numbers as how many beans is coming in from Brazil, and how many beans are coming in from Canada, and the fact that Mexico may cancel some open sales in the U.S. and one cargo to Mexico was nominated in Brazil. And then that raised some concern about our old crop demand, and maybe we fixed the tight supply. Still, quite a few of the commercials feel that we haven't quite fixed it yet. And in the summer, the meal supply might get tight enough that you could see higher meal prices due to the stronger demand, especially in heavier hog weights that's being fed. So still a lot of volatility in the bean market, and don't think that's over. Over in the corn, we saw some profit taking. It looks like after today, we're going to have maybe 4 or 5 open days of warmer, drier weather across the Midwest. In the central part of the Midwest, this should allow more corn planting. The last USDA number was 19% planted. Some people think by Monday it could be 35 to 40% planted versus 47 average. The question is the 17 million acres that sits up in the northwest part of the Midwest that hasn't got planted yet. It's wet and cool there, and it's probably going to stay wet and cool over the next week. So what's going to happen to those acres, what's going to happen to the final U.S. acres, and what's going to happen to the final U.S. corn yield? Can it be affected by the late planting? So expect maybe a 30-40 cent range up or down in corn until we decide what our 14 supply is going to be. Over in the wheat, a lot of moving parts. Yesterday, the Kansas Wheat Tour estimated the Kansas crop at 261 million bushels. That's the lowest crop since 1996. The warm, dry weather conditions down there is going to continue over the next week, and that could deteriorate the crop even more. But when we look at the world numbers, it does look like there's a lot of problems outside the United States, so U.S. might be a little bit of an island. So $8 Kansas City wheat might actually be slowing demand for wheat, whether it's on the feed side or from the export side. So that might offset a little bit of what's going on in the wheat. The fact that the separatists in eastern Ukraine shut down 2 Ukraine helicopters today is escalating the problems there. We don't know exactly if that's going to add a premium to the wheat market. We think that as much as $1 in wheat prices is due to the Ukraine unrest, and so we don't know if we're going to add or subtract from that. Finally, we had a couple of tenders overnight. Egypt and Saudi Arabia announced tenders for wheat. Don't know if they're worried about higher prices or they need the wheat or where they're going to buy it from. But that did offer some support to the wheat market overnight. So expect, number one, volatility to go up as we try to get the corn crop planted, as we try to figure out old crop soybean supply, and we try to figure out what's going on in Ukraine and U.S. crop conditions. And then, normally, seasonally, if the weather turns out normal, prices should eventually turn lower. So a lot of volatility in the market over the next 30 days. May 9th is the next USDA supply and demand report. That's the first time they're going to talk about 14-15 numbers. And that will also add to uncertainty and volatility in markets as they try to guess what's going to happen in 14-15. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM Investor Services, and have a safe and profitable trading day.
You want me to go